Good morning. Calling today a meeting of the Public Facilities Commission. Before us today is the Public Facilities Department.
Good morning, Commissioners. Our first order of business for the day is a review of the meeting minutes from our last meeting, which occurred on October 30th of 2019. There are draft meeting minutes for the Public Facilities Department and also for the Department of Neighborhood Development. Is there a motion to approve these meeting minutes?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The meeting minutes are hereby approved. Beginning this morning with the Public Facilities Department, we have Patricia Lyons, the Director, who's joining us today, and we have two votes being presented by PFD. The first vote is being presented by Greg Rideout. He's a Senior Project Manager with the Public Facilities Department. The vote request concerns an amendment to the vote of October 17th, 2013, regarding a contract with McRitchie Engineering, Inc. to provide engineering, design, and construction administration services for the Boston City Hall HVAC upgrades Phase 1 project located at 1 City Hall Plaza. This would be an increase to the engineering, design, and construction administration services contract of $373,034.69. Greg, if you'd present your vote request, please.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Morning.
The Boston City Hall HVAC upgrades Phase 1 project started out as a combination of a cooling and a heating project. Public Facilities, Property Management, the Environment Department, and McRitchie Engineering held a series of meetings to evaluate the optimal building fuel source, including life cycle costs, efficiency, and carbon footprint. McRitchie Engineering provided life cycle cost data analysis to support the review. We met with the utilities and decided to stay on steam and received a 50% reduction in the steam rate. With the decision to stay on steam, boilers were not needed. Elevator shaft vents, valves at multi-zone air handler units, and fans in the garage were initially in the project, however will be addressed in a future part of the project. Phase 1 is now exclusively a cooling project. Replacement of the cooling towers and chillers. So these are the cooling towers up at the roof. Two of them there. This is the upper portion, and there's a lower section that's down below this section of the high roof. And these are the two chillers down in the floor 1 mechanical area, and they're also now serving Faneuil Hall from this plant. We built a new chiller room around the chillers here. And we have connected our cooling to direct digital control system. So here you can see the panel that's connected. We have a panel for each of the chillers. And here we can monitor what's going on for starting and stopping of the units, the supply and return temperature for chilled water and the condenser water, alarms and capacity. And we can monitor similar data on a laptop or on the control panel in the control room in City Hall. We also replace valves for the single zone air handler units. So this was contemplated as a two-phase project, but we're seeking to bring Phase 1 to a close and complete the services of McRitchie Engineering for business reasons. We've identified additional services, negotiated with McRitchie, and taken time for McRitchie to respond. Recommending approval of the McRitchie proposal based on negotiations to bring Phase 1 to a conclusion. As part of the cooling work, a second cooling tower and second chiller was added to the scope, and the project was on hold for a period of time in resolving the fuel source. In which time, during that time, some of the design labor costs and construction costs went up. And the cooling equipment that was added to the project was more expensive than the originally contemplated heating equipment. For hazardous materials consulting work, some additional hazardous materials encountered, as well as some additional monitoring required during the demolition from the hazardous materials consultant. Some structural engineering work for coordination of the roof opening with pre-purchased equipment, roofing consultant work for water encountered in the roof deck, scheduled consulting work for monitoring duration, and some cost estimated work for helping to plan for the next phase. So the total proposed amount of the amendment, $373,000 $34.69, bringing the contract total to $996,189.69. So, let me know if you have any questions.
More of a history question than anything else. Probably dating myself. The original power or heat for City Hall, wasn't that Trigen or Boston Thermal, whatever it's called, steam?
Yeah, it's Veolia, and the
Veolia,
project
yeah,
in the building is still on Veolia for
Still
the
on
steam,
Veolia?
yes.
Okay,
But Veolia did reduce the city's steam rate significantly.
okay. So that's why, actually, because I remember this discussion, I think about 10, 15 years ago, actually, when this was coming up. So we're still on Veola's steam
Correct.
for heat, and, okay. But you're not using chilled water, so are you doing, is this program to get us off Veola for,
Initially, the project was contemplated to get us off of Veolia and go on to boilers. And so during the meetings that PFD and Environment and Property Management had with the engineer, with the Veolia rate reduction, it was determined that the rate reduction was significant enough for us to decide to stay on steam and have Veolia take responsibility for management of the steam pipes up to a certain point.
So my question is just about the services that you're requesting an increase for, have they already been provided?
Most of them have been provided, yes.
So, and it's very clear that they were needed. Just wanted to state that, going forward, it would be, the timing-wise, I think the request should come in prior to the work being done, but I do understand that this was necessary.
Yeah, we would normally try to do that. In this case, we had a little bit of a challenge with the engineer as far as getting the proposal from him in a timely fashion.
Okay.
And also, some of the additional services that we needed were not identified until we were in construction.
I have no further questions. I make a motion to approve.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Vote number 1 is approved. Vote number 2 is being presented by James McGaffigan. He's a senior project manager with the Public Facilities Department. Vote number 2 concerns a correction to the vote of September 25th, 2019 regarding a contract with Hill International, New England, Inc. to provide owner project manager services for the feasibility study and schematic design phase associated with the William Carter School project located at 396 Northampton Street in the South End. This is a reduction in the contract duration from 156 weeks to 753 days. And note for the record, that's simply 3 days short of 108 weeks. Jim, if you'd present your vote request.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Morning.
Again, this vote is a request that seeks to correct information that was presented to the PFC on September 25th, 2019 for the award of an owner's projects manager's contract to Hill International, New England. This is for the William E. Carter School project. At that time, the vote request sought a contract duration of 156 weeks for the feasibility study and the schematic design services for the project. Following the PFC vote on October 8th, Public Facilities Department executed a contract with, for the OPM services with Hill. And the following day, Hill International notified PFD that it sought a shorter contract duration of 108 weeks. The negotiated fee of $387,295 was to remain. After legal review with PFD's attorney, the contract duration for the feasibility and schematic design services runs from the day of the execution, October 8th, to October 30th, 2021. Contract duration's just 3 days shy of 108 weeks of service. Accordingly, I seek your approval to correct the contract duration to reflect the 753 days rather than the original 156 weeks. This will be for just the feasibility and the schematic design services on the project.
No question.
Thank you. It's very clear. I make a motion to approve. Vote number 2.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Vote number 2 is approved. Is there a motion to adjourn this portion of the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Meeting is adjourned.